So, hello, everyone. This is Reverend Joslyn Mason. I am the senior minister at Unity of Kalamazoo, and I'm sharing inspiration with you today on this Friday, February the 12th, in the year 2021. And the word for today is grace. Mm. And the affirmation is I share the gift of grace. I share the gift of grace. I share the gift of grace. I open myself to God's grace as I awaken my willing spirit and receptive heart. Through grace, I know kindness, benevolence, forgiveness, and compassion. My heart warms and my soul shines as soon as I open myself to receive these divine gifts. Grace is mine to receive as well as mine to share. Every time I extend myself by lending a helping hand, I exhibit grace. Whenever I offer forgiveness to someone who has hurt me, I am sharing the gift of grace. When I slow down to listen deeply and empathize with someone, the space between us is filled with grace. Now, when I quiet my mind, I become receptive to the flow of grace that carries me on spiritual currents of divine love. And from the book of Acts, chapter 20, verse 32. And now I commend you to God and to the message of his grace, a message that is able to build you up. Grace, God's unmerited grace is extended to all of us. So I share the gift of grace. As we open ourselves up to God's divine grace, we awaken the willing spirit within us, and our heart becomes more open and receptive. Through grace, we are benevolent, we forgive, we have compassion, we have empathy. When we are in a state of grace, our heart warms and our soul shines. We open up to allow grace to flow in and through us, out into the world. Grace is ours to receive the sweet presence of God into the world. Grace is ours to receive the sweet presence of God as well as ours to share, sending out love and grace and peace to all the world. We exhibit grace when we share our gifts and our talents and our abilities with others, especially when we are willing to forgive. We all bumble about and make mistakes. We all say the wrong things at the wrong time. We all jump to conclusions. So it's good for us to move into a state of grace where we can forgive someone who we feel has hurt us by sharing the gift of grace. Let us slow down for a moment and listen to the voice of Spirit. Let us feel the grace of God surrounding us. Let us know that this grace, this presence, this peace is always available to us. And it shows itself in our generosity of spirit when we are willing to give and to share. When we are willing to allow love to school us in the right way of how to be on this plane and on this planet. So let us slow down several times a day to listen to the voice of God, to empathize with others, to send them love and grace. Thank you, God, for this gift of grace. Help us to share it. Help us to be aware of its presence. Help us to be aware that we are in it, surrounded by it, uplifted through it. And in the same manner, we can do the same for others. Thank you, God, for the grace that lifts us, that gives us the ability to have compassion, that gives us the ability to forgive, that allows us to be benevolent and kind, and to warm the hearts of others through God's divine grace. Thank you, God, for this message today to uplift us into just finding and experiencing grace and then sharing that grace out into the world. So as you go forth today in the grace of God, know that the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you as the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you go, God is there and all is well because God has already gone before you, making your way easy and successful. And for that, we give thanks, for we walk in God's amazing grace. God bless you and have a most wonderful, graceful, and peaceful day. Namaste.